Welcome back to another edition here of the Lit Up podcast with myself, Mike Benmeleh, and let's just get down. We are fortunate and zoche to have with us an incredible person, one of my most favorite people in the whole world, Reb Yossi Sausen, all the way from the holy city of Efrat, Israel. How does that sound, by the way, Yossi? Live from Eretz Israel. Tell me.
Well, it actually feels even better being here, despite everything going on.
Yossi, just in general, for people that don't know you, you are a transplant from the United States. I know you came all the way from Cleveland, moved your way out to Eretz Israel, made that big move, and Baruch Hashem, started your journey as becoming one of the most amazing, I would say, tour guides in all of Eretz Israel. Really, you're an amazing, amazing person. There's nobody else I'd rather be than traveling around Eretz Israel. But obviously, the situation at hand, people also don't know you're an incredible spiritual person connected to Rabbi Nachman Impressive as well as many other things. And you're an amazing light. And so I thought it was very important to talk to you. I know a lot of intel, a lot of things of what's going on. And on top of that, you have your son's bar mitzvah tomorrow. Tell me a little bit, what is going on now in Efrat?
Well, I'll tell you, it's that craziness that goes on in a house where there's a bar mitzvah happening. So for me, in the middle of this bar mitzvah and a war, by the way, and a couple kids that are in the army as we speak, which we'll talk about, to get out, to be part of the Lit Up podcast, there's nowhere else I'd rather be right now. No joke. And I'm looking to get lit up also because, one thing that has come across during this whole experience is just how united we are and just how much we rely on each other and how much spiritually we're brothers. And that matters a lot. And so for me, talking to you, Miami, New York, it doesn't matter. We're one, we're together, and this is where I need to be right now. And I'm grateful that I am here.
Tell me a little bit about, again, just in general, what you're feeling right now in the atmosphere been like here. From Reb Shlomo Katz, talking a little bit from his end, being all that. What's going on from the atmosphere there? What are the people talking about? In general, I know you were involved in a lot of different things. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, look, first off, I'm a member, and I'm grateful to be a member of Reb Shlomo Katz's shul here in Efrat, Shirat David. So he's our leader, and a lot of the messaging we're getting through him. But the fact of the matter is, in general, people's spirits are high in the sense that we know we're part of something much bigger, much deeper. On the ground, the day-to-day, yeah, there's some concerns. There's a lot of concerns. There's a lot of real security threats that we're dealing with. There's a lot of people walking around with weapons. Today is Friday, and it was supposed to be a day of rage. We live just a few kilometers from Beit Lechem. You've been to my house. You know how close we are. We were sandwiched in between Beit Lechem and Hebron. There's a whole host of threats that are all around us. And so there's that tension that's in the air in addition to everything else that you're hearing. But there's also a tremendous amount of care and concern and love for our neighbors, our fellow Jews, people that really are looking out for each other, trying to help families whose husbands went off to the front lines. And of course, Tehillim, lots and lots and lots of Tehillim. No way around that.
You going a little personal, you had mentioned that, Hashem, and one of your oldest ones is in the army right now. And she had a connection, unfortunately, to the army base that was attacked. If you want to go that a little bit, I think it's fascinating to see it from a first-hand perspective, not just hearing it to the news. Party. Tell me a little bit about what happened there.
Look, Michael, I'm a regular guy like like you. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I moved here 13 years ago with my then 4 kids, and we have 8, Baruch Hashem. I loved America. I had courtside seats to the Cavs. I had a business. I still have business there as well. And I didn't necessarily think that I'd end up in the situation, but that this is where it's at. I have 2 of my 8 kids, Baruch Hashem, that were called up into the Army. One of whom is 19. His name is David. He's in Sayeret Golani, which is like super impressive. It's this great unit, and he's still in training. But he got called up on Shabbos, and they told him, "You're done with training. You're going to take over guarding a yeshuv in the north," because a lot of those guys are now at the front lines. My daughter Dahlia, she's just turned 23. Now, between us, and it's nothing to do with me, it's all from my wife Miriam. She's a genius. She's really smart. This is someone who's in what you would call AP math, physics. Just really smart, and she was selected for intelligence to do her Army service, and that's what she did. And the base that she was stationed at is called Re'im. No one really ever heard of it. Never really particularly mattered until now. It's a base that's on the Gaza border, and she specializes in the Gaza border and Hamas, also Islamic Jihad. That's just kind of what I know. She finished her service about 8 months ago. And when this happened and she got word that the South was under attack, she got called up back to her base. She immediately got in the car with someone else from her unit who lives in this area. They drove down as close as they possibly could. The Army stopped them. She heard shooting in the background. They said, "Still not safe, but we need to get you into the intelligence war room that you work in." And after some time, through armored personnel carrier, they were able to get her into that war room. And the scenes that she described, just getting to the war room, which is an underground bunker in this base called Re'im, just horrific. Bodies of us and the terrorists were really strewn all over the place. Her base was essentially burnt down. And once she had a chance to actually get into the room and start working with her fellow soldiers and colleagues and other officers, she realized just how serious the situation is. Serious in the sense that a number of soldiers that she had trained and worked alongside were killed, captured. 4 girls that she trained were shot at point blank range, many of whom, again, we think were captured. And the people that she's now working alongside, trying to get a handle on what's happening, had just survived this pogrom massacre. And so, personally, as a father, selfishly, this is heartbreaking because I'm concerned that the daughter that we sent is not the daughter that we're going to get back. There's no way around that direct personal kind of trauma. But I am making a bar mitzvah. And to her credit, I mean, where do you get people like this? The kids, the youth of this country are so incredible. They are so strong and resilient. And maybe she could have come home for Shabbos, and well-deserved, after basically no sleep at all. And she said, "No, I can't. If I were to come home, I'd always be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm needed there. And if I were to come home, I'm not sure I'd be able to humanly go back. And so I need to stay, and I need to see this through." I'm just so proud of her.
It's amazing.
I'm so proud of her.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And I don't know. I can't. It's hard to imagine understanding what it's like as a parent to deal with what you're dealing and what your wife Miriam is dealing with. I think it's probably you need a lot. We need to do a lot of breathing meditations on this one, Yossi. This is not an easy thing. So I commend you for that. And you also were mentioning to me before. Tell me a little bit about also. I think it's important. Bless you with all the incredible things you do. One of the things that I feel like is a big thing that you do also as well is you holy avoda and around. And I know one of the hard things you have to do. Tell us a little bit about that. Avoda. It's important that people hear it.
Oh yeah. Well, in the Chevra Kadisha here in the town that I live in, which is Efrat, but really the region of the Gush, we have obviously a cemetery. We don't have machines, so we have a group of guys that go ahead and dig these graves. By the way, normally this group has been growing and growing, and it gets almost physical with each of these guys when we're digging a grave. They all want to be part of this holy service, no matter what time of the day or night. It's mostly at night, and what the conditions are outside. And it could be cold and hard grounds, and you're digging through, and it's work. But people want to all be part of this. And unfortunately, we have so many deaths. And so recently, a group of us just had to go ahead and dig 3 graves for soldiers of this area that were killed and are being buried here. And actually, our group of guys, that pool is a lot smaller now because these guys are at the front lines. And then the night before, at 1 a.m. in the morning, we got message that the Chevra Kadisha in Jerusalem at Har Herzl, one of the holiest places, one of the places I love visiting the most myself with tourists. That's real tzaddikim that are there. They needed help to dig 25 fresh graves. And the truth is, Am Yisrael, when I went there were seemingly hundreds of people that actually want to go ahead and help and participate in this, and I wasn't even able to lift a finger there. So it's deep, it's personal, but it's also very just heartwarming when everyone comes together this way, and to see how holy even digging a grave and filling up bags of dirt and creating the border around it and making sure that it's deep enough, and where's everyone going to sit, and how all that gets done with such holiness and tamimistic, and no talking and no joking, and just in a very kedusha, elevating way. That's who we are.
You're very special, Yossi. You're very special.
We are.
We are all very special. Baruch Hashem. I want to go to one more. Actually, there's many things I want to talk to you about. We were talking about this also as well, and I gave you some information, which I think I'm going to, as the days go by, kind of like trying to bring to the world. We speak about how could it be possible that something like this could have happened, right? That's like the big elephant in the room, right? And we know, obviously, that at the end of the day, also Hashem is the one who is making everything move, and he's making everything happen. And I believe, B'ezrat Hashem, with Hashem's help, that we are ready at the end game for Geula and Mashiach. This is for sure where it's going. I'm sure that's what the vibe is right now in Eretz Yisrael as well, I would assume. But the main question I have for you is, as you saw what all this happened and unfolded, right? And you see how something as you thought was not, the word is not bulletproof, but the word is almost like impossible, hypothetically. Something like this could have happened, that they could have come into Israel, broke through, no problem, all day long, just coming in through the border, which is insane. I know there's a lot of theories. Okay, there's a lot going on out there from the nature world. I want to say from the nature because there's a lot of nature and there's the behind-the-scenes spiritual. Nothing can't happen unless it happens. But that being said, tell me your thought on that. Living in Israel, seeing what happened there, and we're going to tie it into a big point at the end. Let me know your thoughts on that. What do you think?
Well, you're right. I mean, we're all in absolute shock that something like this can even happen, and how could it? As a guide, I go to that area. I'm a mountain biker. There's the Be'eri mountain trail is one of the best in the country. It's a great single track, and it goes right along the border.
Be'eri is, just to clarify, Be'eri is the area near the Gaza border that we're talking about that got heavily impacted.
Yeah, that region is called Eshkol, but the actual border communities that we're talking about that got hit the hardest is Be'eri, Nativ HaAsara, Kfar Aza. The base that my daughter is on is called Re'im. They were physically taken over by terrorists. It's called the Badlands. There's a unique kind of mud that's there as well. But it's very pretty, particularly in February. People come from all over the country to this area because the colony flowers come out. They're everywhere. They're gorgeous. They're red and they're purple. And it's just a fantastic. It's crazy what I'm describing to you based on what you guys have seen on video. But it really is a beautiful area. Some of my highest nature moments in Israel have happened there. And I used to love going there because I'd visit Dahlia on base. So first off, I know how hard it is to get into that base as a father with a pass. So it's not easy just to get in there. Secondly, I know what that border looks like and what the fence looks like. I know a little bit about what goes on underneath that fence. I'm aware of some of the technology that goes surrounding that fence. That's just what I know, and I think it's pretty much declassified. I know what I saw when I physically went into the war room where my daughter works in, which is a whole lot of data, that live data that they had on screens all over on suspected terrorists. So how can this happen? I have no idea. I have no idea. But to the bigger message that I think you and I want to get to, and I think that's happening now, which is this: we're in a really, really bad, on paper, situation. On paper, it doesn't look good. If these guys of Hamas were able to do what they did to us, imagine what Hezbollah in the north, guys with 21st century technology and a 16th century mindset, can do. Imagine if our enemies right a kilometer away from me decide to unite and try to pull what Hamas just did. We're not even talking about Iran yet. It just on paper looks really bad, like lights out type of thing. But that's if you go according to the natural way of things. But if you go according to the supernatural way of things, which is what we really kind of are as a people, it's one of the reasons why we're still around, even though we probably shouldn't be with all the enemies we've had along the way, well, then we're going to prevail. We're going to prevail in a very dramatic fashion. But like the message that I'm getting, that I feel in my bones, and it's coming a lot from Rav Shlomo Katz, you mentioned before, is that we need to remove the idolatry that we have inside of us. There's no way around it. We've been influenced and infiltrated by so many other anti-Torah ideas inside of us. It's in our bones. It's not in our DNA, but it's inside of us. And we have to try to expel it. And so we think, yeah, Michael, we got this. My daughter, she's 5 Yechidot physics and math. We got the brightest and the best technology you wouldn't believe. Automatic machine guns that can shoot for you. The best armory, best planes, incredible crew. We got money now. We got prestige. No one's messing with us. We got this covered. You can rest safely. Come on, enjoy, drink our wine.
And don't forget the United States.
Well, and we and you know what? And you know what? And even that, I'm not, I struggle with this balance between like this cry out to Hashem and it's only in your hand, or am I like still stuck with this avodah zarah of like, okay, Michael, it's going to be okay because this carrier, this aircraft carrier is on the way, so don't worry, like the U.S. is here and they're going to like somehow protect us and take care of it, and they got our backs, and all that's nice in the world of nature, but that's in I don't think that's what it's going to take, us calling out to God and to the creator of the world in a unified way where we have nowhere else to turn. And the gods, the Elokei Kesef and Elokei Zahav, which in this case could be the technology and the military and the armory and the great stuff that we have, which is important. And we have to do a Hishtadlut. I'm not saying that. But we need to really open up our eyes and our consciousness and our souls to the idea that we are Hashem's people. We are Hashem's children in his land, and we are unified as a people, and we have to turn to him and to him only. And only then can I see us getting out of this. I'm sorry. I don't have any other genius kind of answer for you. I can only tell you how I'm feeling and how a lot of the chevra that I'm around here talk.
I think that that message it's going to have to be the message moving forward now every single day. And we're going to have to probably scream that from the top of every single tower both in Eretz Yisrael and around the world, and we have to blast that message. We can only turn to Hashem, and that really is the message. I think that once, again, I'm gonna have to go through. I don't have it on me right now. There's a tremendous amount of sources across the board from the prophets, end game, and war. And at the end of the day, people are going to have a lot of emunah, a lot of faith. There's a concept of the ropes of the Chevle Mashiach, which really means the ropes of Mashiach, which really means you got to hold on tight. And Mashiach is specifically, in order we have to have emunah and having that happen, which means we're going to have to hold on tight to this rope we're going to hold on to. Or talk about a lot of these things. How hard are you going to be able to hold on? Because it may not be easy. People's lives, we know. But it's gonna be basically the ones who hang on till the end. Those are the ones who are gonna merit.
Yeah, I tell you, there couldn't be anyone better equipped to hang on than us, the Jewish people. Michael, I've been so personally, it's heartwarming. As a guide for the last 10 years, I have had almost hundreds of people reach out to me, people that I almost forgot about, who have what we would call no connection to Judaism. No connection to Yahadut, completely assimilated, whose hearts are breaking, and I hear it in their voice, and I feel it in their souls. And they want to, with all their strength, help and support and hang on. And so it gives me such encouragement and understanding of just how deep and unique of a people we are when that happens. I'm experiencing it firsthand. And so we need to hang on, and we have to spread that message of hanging on, and we have to be able to help hold people from the bottom if we need to, and then they'll be there to hold you. And yeah, that's what's going to carry us through the day.
Yossi, you have a bar mitzvah to attend to very shortly, which is incredible. And there's probably a lot going on right now. I just can't imagine it. So I really, from the bottom of my heart, I want to give you a big bracha and a big blessing. Hashem should give you a lot of happiness and joy and simcha in your heart. Should bless you and your wife and your children, all of them, including the main two right there, battle with a long, long life of good health. Safely, they should fulfill everything they need to fulfill in their avoda to destroy the enemy. And at the end of the day, more give a tremendous amount of chizuk and just courage and koach to all of Klal Yisrael. We know today is, ironically, today is the 28th day of Tishrei. 28 represents koach, represents strength. And as I mentioned to you before, when we were speaking earlier on the phone today, I want to say to you again that God should give you a lot of strength. You are right now an incredible human being, a person. As you can see, people can hear from the crowds out there that people don't really even know an inch of what really you really are, but people can sense already a little bit about how incredible and special you are. Hashem should give you a lot of koach and strength on this incredible day. Breshit, the beginning of creation, we know specifically that the 28 letters of the first pasuk are of Breshit. 28 represents koach on the 20th day of Tishrei. Getting ready for your son's bar mitzvah, having a lot of strength to have a lot of happiness and joy, and at the same time deal with everything that's going on with your wife. You need to give that koach to as many every single day in Eretz Yisrael, cheering him up, giving him emunah and faith. And that's really my blessing to you, that you should be successful in your mission, because you really have such a big job there. And not just that, but maybe giving koach and tremendous amount of koach to all the people that you know that from B'ezrat Hashem, when Mashiach comes, you should be over to the Beit HaMikdash, give me a little nice, beautiful tour there. B'ezrat Hashem. I get first dibs, okay? I get first dibs.
Fair. You get it. You deserve it, because you really are also lighting up a lot of the a lot of incredible things are coming out of Miami. I get a lot of chizuk. A lot of my chevra does from Gedalia and a lot of the things that happen there. So keep doing what you're doing. I give you a bracha right back to you, which is a bracha to me. And it's a bracha to all of us.
All of us. To all of us.
To spread the light, and let's bring this Mashiach. Let's make it happen. He's waiting for us.
Stay safe. Stay happy. Be in joy. Be b'simcha. B'ezrat Hashem, we'll be probably in contact very soon. Hopefully we can do another podcast soon, trying to give us some more of an update as this.
Amen. Kol tu Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom Bevarach. Enjoy the bar mitzvah, and B'ezrat Hashem speaking very, very soon. Thank you so much, Yossi, for all the input information. Much